right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Great music scene out there.
Very good. Yeah.
Colorado in general. I mean, you've got obviously E-Town, you've got Telluride, you've got just on and on and on. But you guys, playing, I guess, what's has been called now for a few years Americana music, which brings in a lot of different influences and whatnot. You guys also come playing-wise, musician-wise, from more of almost a jazz and classical background, am I right, as far as, getting your chops and whatnot. Tell us a little bit about that and how Boulder Acoustic Society came together, 10 years ago now?
Yeah, it's been almost 8 years. I'm the only original member still in the band, and the first 2 records in the first 3 years of the band, it was like an all-instrumental, newgrass craziness.
Right.
Type of
which you
outfit.
kind of almost come to expect to a degrry from Colorado in a way, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
There's a scene for that sort of thing, and that was like very much based on folk or bluegrass mixed with classical and jazz music. And
sure.
That was the focus. And then there's over the years it's transitioned into kind of what you're hearing now, where we're focused on songs, not on tunes, and we're writing our own material. And it's definitely a stripped down, darker sound, but all of us have still had that training.
Absolutely. Well, you can tell, number one, from the variety of instruments you seem to all be able to pick up and play very easily, but also, again, from the way the music can come and go in a song. I mean, it's especially this EP, which, congratulations, Champion of Disaster is the name of it. Released, when was it released? Last year,
October.
basically. October of last year. So it's still pretty fresh out there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll have copies of this tonight at Relics as well, so you can start your holiday shopping a little early tonight, folks, down at Relics. But it is, I know I read in some articles, some folks describing it, and it seems to be this way, obviously Americana, but with gospel, with blues influences, you're saying some jazz, obviously some bluegrass and acoustic, but it seems like it is really into what's being called these days kind of that indie folk sound, doesn't it?
It's really like, for us, it's either folk music played on rock instruments or rock music played on folk instruments.
And you can't go wrong either way, can you?
No, so it just kind of works out,
Yeah, well, and I think, too, it just, how Americana is somewhat all-encompassing, and it almost seems like just about any type of genre can be put in there. It almost seems the way with indie folk in that it's a real, almost limitless type sound right now that seems to be very much going on a downhill. I mean, it's really picking up steam, it seems like. Yeah. And let's get to that again, too. A lot of that really depends upon, and it seems like, and I've been reading a little bit about this, Corey O'Brien with Boulder Weekly did a great piece on Champion of Disaster, and he said it's EP Champion of Disaster in 2009's excellent full-length punchline, Boulder Acoustic Society, transformed from a group of classically trained smart alecks aping their way through the history of American music into a dusty folk band belting out heartfelt Americana. The album is a mature blend of gypsy waltzes, barnyard foot stompers, and hard-on-your-sleeve ballads, and builds off the group's formal training rather than just relying on it. And what I gather from that, guys, is he's saying, just like you said, it really falls back on the songs now more, doesn't it? I mean, it seems like you guys are really concentrating on one song at a time, lyrically, musically, and it seems like all the songs on this EP kind of sound different from each other, but obviously the same band in a very great way. Is that kind of where you guys are thinking? I mean, it sounds like it's almost a watershed point for the band with this EP.
All along, we were always marketed as, hey, look at all the weird, cool stuff these guys can do. And it never sounded like one band. It was always just this crazy mix of sounds and ideas. And as the lineup has changed over the years, it just keeps focusing into trying to get a sound that is identifiable. And when we try to be identifiable, we're still really diverse, compared to other groups. But the whole point of this one was this needs to all work together. We needed a producer who would force us to leave out more than he forced us to put in.
And that's, some producers have a good time doing that, and some producers, think I might be stepping on their egos a little, but I mean, that's what you're paying them to do, basically, isn't it? I mean,
and also, Punchline, the record before that, we recorded like 18 songs in 4 or 5 days. This one, we did 5 songs in 4 days. Yeah. So, I mean, that we were just talking beforehand, if we, were to link up all the takes I played all in a row, it would be like 3 full days of music. Right. Like, it was just the same, just get that feel, Really concentrating on it song by song, I guess, and really, well, it came out sounding great, guys. It's an excellent EP, and definitely, there's some difference
from, I think, even the, I guess, what, 4 or 5 previous releases? 4,
yeah,
I guess?
5. I think this is our 6th.
Yeah,
right?
6, yeah, 6. So there's definitely some difference there, like you're really starting to feel your way, and it's like, okay, here's where we're going, and this is what it's all about. But it really falls back on the songs, and the songs are just really, really strong, and you can really tell about that. Again, Boulder Acoustic Society live in Studio Indy here on UTTV, The Rock Unplugged. My name's Benny Smith. Glad to be here, and also glad that these guys are in town tonight at Relics Variety Theater down in the Happy Holler section of town. Burton Knight, Clint Farley, and Will Sharber going to be opening up with kind of a 3-man songwriter in the round thing, which is always a cool thing. These guys apparently won a competition earlier this week to have the right and privilege to open for these guys, Boulder Acoustic Society. But also, you know, with the name Boulder Acoustic Society, kind of pops out at first. You kind of think, you know, acoustic. You kind of even think maybe bluegrass to a degree. Growing up in Colorado, again, a lot of different types of music, a lot of fertile ground out there for encouraging you to listen to lots of different types of music, if you will, too. But did you guys grow up, you know, with some bluegrass influences, and who as well?
I mean, yeah, bits and pieces of us. We all basically have a strong background in rock music, jazz, and folk music,
right?
But all in a different spectrum and place. So Scott and I, the accordion player, started a string band in college, and that's what we were doing for years and years.
Right.
And Neil, when he was growing up, he got a banjo before he got a bass, you know, and so it's been, and we've all come from different places like that. But we were into old-timey string band music, but, you know, we also got the first Nirvana record when it came out,
sure,
etc.
Sure.
I mean, like, you know.
And there you meet in the middle somewhere, and there you have Boulder Acoustic Society. So very, very cool. These guys live in studio again right here on 90.3 The Rock and UTTV The Rock Unplugged at Relics Variety Theater. But right now, in your living room or kitchen or car or wherever you're listening, we got another tune for you guys. What you going to do for us?
So actually, the next 2 tunes that we're going to do are both brand new. These are ones that we're going to be recording pretty soon here in the next month or 2.
Cool. We'll come back and talk a little about that after we hear this one, though. What's the name of this one? You got a name yet?
It's untitled, but right now it's a waltz, so we'll just call it The Waltz.
Working title is The Waltz. This is Boulder Acoustic Society live on 90.3 The Rock and UTTV The Rock Unplugged. Let her go.